Welcome, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the podcast Indestructible Souls. Happy Sunday. I believe this is the last Sunday of the year. And yeah, we're about to enter into a new year. And I know a lot of people are ready for 2020. Is ready for 2020 to be over. So once again, welcome back to the podcast Indestructible Souls. Before we get started, I want to thank you guys for a great year. I started this podcast earlier in the year and it's been an experience. I've got a lot of positive feedback and I want to thank you all for the feedback, the encouragement, the advice, and so forth. And then also, I just want to thank the guests that's come on. I think we've had some very interesting topics. Anywhere from obviously we talk about mental wellness for African American men and boys. Um, we've talked about police brutality. We talked about depression, trauma. Last week we talked about grief. So we talked about a wide array of things, and so I'm really proud of the show. And hopefully in 2021, I will be able to expand the show, more guests, as well as new and fresh topics to help people grow, help this community grow, and continue to push and continue to promote mental health and mental wellness for African American men and boys. As we know, we don't access help as much as we should, and so therefore, a lot of times we continue to suffer unnecessarily simply because we don't access services. So before we get started on today's show, um, don't forget you can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and also you can check me out. I am a licensed therapist, a licensed psychotherapist, and I own and operate Beauregard Therapy, which actually started this year. I went into private practice, which I'm really, really proud about. So things are thriving. God is blessing, and this has been a great year, even in the midst of this pandemic. So I'm really happy about it. So I want to get into the show, or I want to get into the topic of today's show. And as you can see, well, maybe you can see, is I'm going to talk about having a new mindset for the new year. Now, as we know, 2020 has been a challenge. First off, it was an election year. We've been hit with the pandemic. Things have been canceled. People have died unexpectedly. Jobs have been lost. Um, we've been away from our families. There's just been a lot of things that's happened in this year. And so I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I think people do New Year resolutions, and then next thing a good month in within the new year, the resolution is already, we've forgotten about it. We don't follow through. So today's topic is going to be a little bit different. I'm not talking about resolution. I'm talking about having a different mindset going into the new year, a totally different mindset. And so what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that for us, a lot of times, for most of us, all of us, everything that we do starts with a mindset. Everything that we do starts with a thought, it starts with a belief, it starts with how we feel about ourselves, and so forth. So today, I really want to talk about having a new mindset going into the new year. And I'm going to hopefully teach you some things about the effects of having a negative mindset. Hopefully I'm going to teach you about how to shift that negative, not only that negative mindset, shift it to a positive mindset, but really talk about how having a positive mindset will manifest itself and in many different ways. So oftentimes people underestimate the power of thought, underestimate the power of suggestion, underestimate the power of belief, the power of faith, and we also underestimate the power of seeing things that have not come to pass yet. Actually seeing it, not just believing it, but conceiving it and actually seeing it. And being able to stand on that, even if things around us that are happening in the present doesn't appear to be positive, doesn't appear to be what we want. And sometimes things around us even seem to be falling apart. But if we not only keep a positive mindset, but if we're able to see things before they happen, that's what I'm talking about. And one of the things that I've noticed in this pandemic, in this year, and things have happened. I'm not underestimating what has happened in any sense of the word. It started with the pandemic. It started with things shutting down. It started with jobs being suspended, jobs being taken away, schools being shut down. Everything that we knew as normal was taken away. So, any rational person would probably be like, what the heck is going on? And what am I going to do? What I'm saying is that even in the midst of chaos, the fact that we are able to see positivity, the fact that we are able to see the good will manifest itself. Earlier this year, one of the things that I suggested was that even in the midst of this pandemic, if I'm able to see it, if I'm able to think it, and even in the midst of all of this, if I'm able to keep a positive mindset, things will manifest itself. And so, just a quick story. Now, granted, everybody's been affected by what's going on. And so earlier this year, at at the end of February, I was working for a plans for this, using my expertise, my many years of work experience, had plans for this company that I was working with. Okay. And long story short, things didn't work out. So, frankly, I got fired. What did I do wrong? In my opinion, absolutely nothing. But it is what it is. It was her company. She could do what she wanted. Okay, so be it. So what ended up happening was at the end of that, the pandemic hit. Like literally, this was February 20th. So there was already buzz about the pandemic. But by March, things had taken place. So why am I sharing this story? At the end of February, technically making a pretty penny, no longer have this job, and here comes the pandemic. Everything's going to panic. Everything's beginning to shut down. And what do? I start a business. Why is that important? Because for a half a second, fear set in, and I had a thought of maybe I should wait. Maybe I should hold off on spending this money, getting the office, getting a lease, and doing all these things for half a second. But then I said, no, I'm going to get started. I'm going to do it. I'm going to open up. And as far as career wise, it's probably one of the best things that I've ever done. And so, one of the things that I explained to people was I had a vision. I knew what I wanted. I knew I had to do the footwork to get there, but I had to believe that it was going to happen for me. So, one of the things that I'm going to talk about, well, today's topic is having a new mindset going into the new year, going into 2021. And here's the thing, everybody's talking about how bad 2020 has been, as if 2021, all of a sudden things are going to switch. The fact of the matter is, it's not going to switch. We're still going to be in the midst of the pandemic. People need stimulus. And, I have my opinion about those stimulus checks that, granted, there's nothing wrong with extra money, but it's another story. We'll get into that. But so when we get into 2020, nothing is going to change in the sense that not all of a sudden this pandemic's not going to go away. Schools are still going to be, whether distant learning, schools are still going to be hybrid learning, businesses are still going to be operating differently. However, one thing can change is how we see things and how we maneuver. And when we talk about having a different positive mindset, we're talking about the fact that how we see things, how we believe things will change the world around us. And I don't know if people really believe that. Follow me on this. I work with a lot of people, I work with a lot of clients, and they come to me and they say, I'm stuck. I don't know why I'm stuck. Whether it's depression, anxiety, stress, whatever it may be, we could sit down and we could figure things out. And then they wonder why, okay, I got the answers. The answers are simple, but for some reason I'm still stuck. Here's the reason why they're still stuck. Is because the mindset hasn't changed. Follow me on this. Most of us do not succeed. Most of us do not follow through because of a deeply embedded mindset that will not allow us to succeed, will not allow us to do the things that we need to do. So, one of the things that I call this is we all have a core language. We all have a core belief about ourselves. We all have a core belief about our abilities, how we see ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, what we think of ourselves. It is funny, whether it's a teenager, a kid, or an adult. One of the things that people come and, like I said, they say, I'm stuck and I want to do this. I want this career. I want to pursue that career. I want to go to school. I want this job. I want to make this X amount of money. And I say, okay, what's stopping you? And then you'd be surprised at this look on their face. Because I say, what's stopping you? So if you want to go to this school, apply for it. Well, is it financial? Okay, so there's financial aid. What are the barriers from you getting to where you need to go? And then they still have this look. Here's where it gets tricky, and what people don't understand and what people fail to understand is it's not the barriers, it's not the physical barriers, because we can come up with solution. So if I want this job, and this job saying I need these qualifications, go get the qualifications. If I want to achieve a certain level of success, okay, here's the opportunity, here's the roadmap to success, go get it. Here's what people grapple with. Because the answer is simple, but here's what people grapple with. When my core language and how I feel about myself, what I think about myself, what I believe I deserve if that doesn't match what I'm going after, guess what's naturally going to happen? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to fulfill what I believe about myself. Let me say that again. If I believe I don't deserve better because of my core belief and how I feel about myself, my behavior is going to be based off of what I believe about myself. So when I say I want all of these things and I want to be able to achieve, I want a house, I want the car, I want the income, I want all of these things, then my core language gets to talking to me and say, you don't deserve that. You're not good enough for that. You're not. And so therefore, oftentimes when you see people are not following through, sabotaging themselves, not making appointments, not getting up on time, not doing the footwork, it's not because they can't, it's because their core language will not allow them to. Because I don't believe that I should be that successful. I don't believe that what's over there is for me. And frankly, some of us have used the pandemic as an added excuse to not follow through. To not follow through. Now, granted, I didn't open this big old business with a bunch of people. It's me. But I did not say, well, okay, here comes the pandemic. I'm not going to start this business. I'm not going to open it up. Follow me on this. And here's what I really want you to pay attention to. Is that if we don't check what we believe about ourselves, but more importantly, I'm talking about turning the intangible to tangible. What do I mean by that? With the right mindset, the things I want in life, the people I want in my life, the places I want to go, the things I want to do, the things I want to obtain, it starts here. So when we're going into this whole new year of 2021, if we don't have the right mindset and we feel like it's going to be the same old year, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be the same old year. But if I have something I want to achieve, it starts with how I see myself. It starts with what I think. It starts with what I believe. It starts with, if I see it, then I can make it happen. Believe it or not, I have a lot of people who come to me and I say, when I'm talking to them, I ask a very simple question that most people can't answer. How will you know when things get better? How will you know you're happy? How will you know when you're successful? How will you know you are where you want to be? And I get the answer, I don't know. Now follow me on this. If you don't know what you want, what's going to make you happy, what's going to make you successful, what you're going to achieve, or what you want to achieve, if you don't know, how do you get there? And so one of the things I challenge, especially kids, is tell me something super outrageous that you want to achieve, super outrageous that you want to do. I don't care how ridiculous it sounds. Tell me something you want to do. Sometimes they can't even imagine outside of their circumstances. Things at home is so bad. The thought process is so negative. Sometimes they can't even imagine things outside of their bubble. Yeah, they see things on TV. Yeah, they see, they indulge in, YouTube and things like that. But for themselves, they can't see themselves achieving the same success that they watch other people do. Think about that. It starts with a mindset. So let me talk about the core language again real quick. Here's what happens. And I really want you to pay attention to this. with our negative thoughts and without the correct mindset, guess what we do? We set up our own roadblocks simply because we don't believe that we can get there. So follow me on this. Because of negativity, because of the inability to see things, because of the inability to see positivity, what we do is we begin to sabotage. We begin to not only sabotage, we begin to set our own barriers. Tell me why you didn't follow through on that. Oh, because. Tell me why you didn't take care of this. Oh, because we begin to set our own barriers that limits our success, that blocks us from success. People underestimate the power of the mind, the power of suggestion. Follow me on this. Most people are not afraid of failure. Most people are afraid of success simply because they don't believe in themselves. Here's what a negative core language will do. Low motivation, stress, depression, the inability to follow through. It limits our thinking and things like that. So here's what I'm suggesting. We have to have a different mindset going into 2021. Here's the different mindset. What do I mean by a different mindset? First thing I would ask you to do is, what do you want to achieve? What do you want 2021 to look like? Not just 2021, 2021 and beyond. What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your family? What is something you want to achieve? What is something you want to obtain? Everything that I'm talking about begins with a mindset. If you think 2021 is going to be the same old year as 2020, then that's exactly what you're going to get. If you want a specific job or a specific career, if you can't think of how you're going to achieve that, and if you don't believe that you deserve that, if you don't believe that you're good enough, guess what? You won't get it. The fear of success, not the fear of failure. Here's why most people are fearful of success and not failure. For a lot of us, failure is familiar. I know failure. But what happens is, the more and more success that we achieve, the more responsibility we have. But beyond that, the problem is a lot of us can't even see us at that level. I remember when I was working for a large company, I worked my butt off for years to achieve the vice president position. Because I already knew they weren't going to give me the president position, but okay. But I fought for years trying to achieve the vice president over whatever. Fought for years. But what I realized is what I didn't realize at the time was I was limiting myself to work for somebody to achieve someone else's dreams for the rest of my life till I was unable to work to achieve a title. Think about that. So what happened when I was out of that situation, I was able to see things way beyond that. What do I mean by that? Sometimes, even when we want to achieve success, we limit it. We say, okay, I want to be a supervisor. I want to be a manager. We put caps on what we want, put ceilings on it. Oh, if I reach that, then things will be all good. What I'm saying is take the cap off, take the limits off, and see yourself beyond that. Now, let's get into it. I didn't realize I was going for so long. So here's some things I want to talk about real quick in terms of how to have a positive mindset or a different mindset for 2021. And this is for all ages. This is for adults. This is for everybody. So here's my tips, and then I'm going to give you some other tips that other people have, whatever. So the first thing that I try to teach my clients, especially when they're depressed or they don't seem to know their way, the first thing I suggest is every single day, wake up with a purpose. I don't care if you're unemployed. I don't care if you don't have school. I don't care if you have anywhere to go. Every single day, wake up with purpose. If it's to clean the house, if it's to walk the dog, if it's to just get out of the house and go for a walk, go for a ride, whatever it may be, if it's to research, no matter what, every day get up with purpose. Do not sleep half your morning away. Do not sleep half your day away. Do not waste half of your day on your phone, on the internet, on social media. Do not waste half of your day watching other people live their lives. Get up every single day with purpose. One of the things that my grandmother used to, she didn't care what day it was. There was no such thing as sleeping in. Saturday, Sunday, whatever. There's no such thing as sleeping in. And I'm not talking about not taking rest. I'm not talking about doing things that are relaxing. That's not what I'm talking about. But I am saying get up every day with a purpose. Here's the next thing, to have a different mindset. Excuse me. Is count the small victories. What do I mean by that? Some of us have gotten so low and so depressed, even in this time, we fail to see the things that we do achieve. We fail to see the things that we do. So what I am saying is count the small victories. Here's one thing that successful people understand. And this is the difference between successful people, quote unquote, and non-successful people or people who struggle. People who struggle is always expecting the home run. So therefore, people who struggle is always expecting the home run. And if the home run doesn't happen, they see everything as a strikeout. So here's what I mean by that. People say, well, if I had this, then I'll do that. If I had this, then I'll do that. If this happened, then that happened. No, successful people understand small victories. So, and follow me on this. Everything's not going to be a home run. That doesn't mean you fail. Sometimes you're going to strike out. Some of my biggest strikeouts set me up for victory. They set me up for the home run. Keep in mind, I started this after I got fired. Never been fired take that back. Hadn't been fired from a job in over 20 years. All of a sudden, somebody, whatever her issue was, I don't know, I can't call it, but decided, my services were no longer needed. And here's the thing. You could call that a strikeout, but guess what? I'm not hurting. Count the small victories. If you get up on time, count it. If you get dressed and get cleaned up, count it. If you make it somewhere on time, count the small victories. If you get the interview but don't get the job, count the victory. Every single interview, even if you get the job or not, is a lesson. Count the victory. Everything's not going to be a home run. And if you understand that, you won't see everything as a strikeout. Now, daily affirmations. Let me break this down a little bit. Daily affirmations, prayer, if you pray, but suggesting positivity every single day. Follow me on this. One of the things that I've done, and I do periodically, I'll get 3x5 flashcards, and I'll write out not only my affirmations, but I'll write out what I want to achieve. True story. And if I would have thought about it earlier, I would have got it for you. So I wrote out 5 affirmations and 5 achievement and different achievements that I want. So I'm talking about affirmations, getting up, looking in the mirror, getting your basically saying something positive about yourself, saying something that you want to achieve, right? I'm going to talk about 2 specific things. Well, 3. One of the things I put on the affirmation card was, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Another thing that I put on there, I wrote 5 checks. What are you talking about? I said I will have 5 sources of income by such and such time. I even put on one of the cards the income that I wanted, but I knew I wanted 5 sources of income. And then another thing that I'll put on there is, I'm going to lose 100 pounds, right? And then there was another one. It was the all of life comes to me, ease and joy and glory. I'm going to have 5 checks. I'm going to lose 100 pounds. And there was another one. Guess what? They all came true. They all came true. I have multiple streams of income. I gained a little bit back, but I lost the weight. Things come to me, not because I'm special, but because I believe in it. They come to me with ease. Now follow me on this. It's because I expect it to. When a situation happens, I expect there to be a solution. I expect there to be, if there's a problem, there's a solution. If there's a problem, there's the opportunity for victory. So when we talk about praying, sometimes the art of suggestion, whether it's to God, whoever you believe in, the universe, believe it or not, if you put it out there and you ask God for it, you ask whoever you pray to, and you put it out there and you put that energy out there every day, it will come to you, period. I'm a manifestation of it. Here's another thing, and this is a motto that I live by. There's no such thing as failure. If it does not kill you, it's not failure. What do you mean by that? Yeah, we mess up. Yeah, we make mistakes. We do things that have consequences. But if it does not kill you, it's not failure. Now, are we doing things intentionally? Are we doing things that are just not the right thing to do? Okay. You'll figure it out at some point. But here's what I'm getting at. When you look at this year by itself, look at all the things that's happened. We're talking people have passed away, whether it was due to COVID or not. People have lost jobs. People have all of these things that you see happening. Kids are struggling in school. What I'm saying is, it's how you approach it. What I'm saying is, we can waddle in the pity, but for so long. If we don't get to the solution and get out of the pity and figure things out, that's where the success comes in at. If it doesn't kill you, it's not failure. And here's another thing. These are the things that I live by. See yourself where you want to be. I could tell you my next move. Maybe I shouldn't, but it doesn't matter because you can't stop what God has for me. But the thing is, now that I have a private practice, my next step is a group practice. My goal is I'm 48 now. My goal, and I put this out in the universe every single day. I ask God for it every single day. By the time I'm 55, my primary job would be to sign checks. I won't be working for anybody. Well, I don't work for anybody now, but I won't have to work every day. I'll see enough clients to keep my license current. Other than that, I will be signing checks for other people. That's what I see. That's what I'm going to achieve. Now, the mindset going into 2021 has to be positive. We have to understand that we have to get out of our own way. We have to understand that what we put out there is exactly what we're going to get back. Whether it's positive or negative, you're both going to be right. I see great success and I see great triumph in 2021 and beyond. That's what I see. Certain things happen that we can't control. Certain things happen that we'll be totally blindsided. We can't dodge those things. But how we approach it and how we have perspective on it is what's going to how it's going to affect us. I'm going to leave you with a few other things. A few other things, practical things that's going to help you with a positive mindset. Here's one of the things that I always do. A lot of times people come to me with problems, and I'm talking day-to-day life, and I try to find the humor in things. Some certain situations aren't as funny, but okay, try to find the humor in it. But here's the reason why that's important. Is sometimes, and people who know me, when situations come, the first thing I do is laugh. The simple reason because, and I'm talking about day-to-day issues. I'm not talking about somebody sick with cancer. I'm not talking about somebody, in the hospital or something to that effect. What I am talking about is day-to-day situations come that we stress over. I laugh at it. Not because it's funny, it's because I know there's a solution. And here it is, life happening again. And sometimes things are just interesting, one way or the other. What do I mean by that? So I don't know. Okay, so a simple one would be car broke down. Something else may happen. I don't know. Finding the humor in things helps us not take things so seriously and so devastating. Now we're able to approach it and fix it. Here's another thing. Turn failures into lessons. I live by the motto is that there's no such thing as failure. I don't lose, I learn. So even when I'm losing, I'm learning. Couple other things. Focus on the present. For those people who are worriers and have anxiety, is because not only are they not focusing on the present, they're so far in the future, but the mindset is so negative that a lot of times they create these catastrophes in their own mind, and they're not real. So if we deal with situations as they arise, we can approach it better. Here's another thing. Whew. And I can't tell you how important this is. Find you some positive friends, a mentor, or somebody that not necessarily thinks like you. I want somebody that's going to challenge your thought, but somebody that's positive and has the same type of mentality that you have. I cannot be around negative people. I can't be around sad people. I'm not a super excited kind of person, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit there and listen to you on your pity pot all day long. One of the things, even with my clients, okay, I got you. You got a few sessions, and we're gonna talk about the bad things, and we're gonna process through it. But now we got to get somewhere else because, you know, at some point we got to get to the positive. Get you a circle of friends that's going somewhere. Get you a circle of friends that has a positive mindset. Get you a set of friends that's going to be honest with you. Complete honesty. I have a couple of friends that I can call up even after watching this, and I can get honest feedback. When I'm not on point, they'll tell me, you're not on point. Here's what I'm getting at is that going into this next year, we have to, meaning us, change our mindset, change our outlook, be able to see where we're going and allow it to manifest itself and not set up our roadblocks. Here's the thing. Believe it or not, and this is biblical, our thoughts are energy. People, a lot of times people don't believe this, but if you believe in prayer and you believe in the Holy Spirit, our thoughts are energy. How else do you think they get to God? How else do you? So here's the thing. Understanding that the power of the mind, our focus, how we see things, creates energy. So if you're putting out negative energy, guess what you're going to get back? Period. I want you guys to understand your power. I want you to understand that your positive thoughts, your mindset, how you see things will affect the tangible things in life. I'm going to close out with these few thoughts, and hopefully this is helpful as you approach the new year. Here's the thing. Your thoughts affect not only your subconscious mind, and this is what I was talking about earlier when we talk about core language, which influences your actions. So if I'm constantly being negative, then that's why I can't go into action. That's why I don't do the things that are necessary. Your thoughts, your energy affect your other people. If your energy is off, the people around you's energy is going to be off, and you're going to attract people that's going to tear you down. Follow me on this. Focus your dreams, focus your goals, will attract and will help you achieve your dreams and your goals if they're focused in the right direction. Here's the thing. Be careful what you think. And if you think it and say it, you're putting out, depending on which way you go, you're putting out either negative or positive energy. Now follow me on this. And I didn't even intend to be on here this long. This is the last one of the year. My hope is that you go into the new year with a positive mindset, with a different mindset, with a different outlook. Now, exactly what you believe, exactly what you put out there in prayer, and affirmation and thought and suggestion is exactly what you're going to get back. I see 2020, follow me on this, and I said this earlier. I said this earlier in the year. Sometimes things have to be torn down and burnt up in order to recreate it. It has to be destroyed. 2020, in my opinion, was the season of destruction. Listen to me. Things have to be, sometimes we do it intentionally. Sometimes nature does it. Nature burns down a forest to replenish it. Sometimes things have to be torn down and destroyed to create something new. I believe 2020 was a year of destruction. Think about it. Look at everything that's been going on. 2021 will be the year of rebuilding. It will be the year of creativity. It will be the year of manifestation. Think about it. But if you don't believe that and you expect more of the same, you will get more of the same. Let's go into this new year with a different mindset, with a positive mindset, and understand that we have the power. Our brains, our minds, our thoughts, our consciousness have the power to literally move the earth. Once again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Indestructible Soul. You can check me out at Beauregard Therapy. You can check me out on Facebook Live. You can also check me out on Twitter, as well as YouTube. My name is Jonathan Beauregard, and this has been Indestructible Soul, and I want to thank you. I'm going to come back next year, take a couple of weeks off. I'm going to have new content, new guests, and it's going to be a great year. So once again, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your night.